Welcome, my sisters and brothers. Blessings. It is so wonderful to be with you once again. I am Robert, and it is my honor to bring to you on the Law of One channel to another wonderful channeling of LL Research. The group question is: the soul is the essence of remembrance. What is the meaning behind that phrase? I am Latwii. I greet you in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. May we say what a great blessing it is for us to be called to the circle of seeking. We thank and bless each for the privilege of sharing the beauty of your vibrations and your meditation. We join you in honoring and praising that infinite mystery whose face is love. We are most happy to be able to work through this instrument, for this instrument has the inner characteristics which makes it possible for us to more easily express ourselves humorously. And we always appreciate the ability to express our opinions upon the most serious of subjects with a light touch. For there is great frustration in seeking the truth within an illusion as complete as your own. No word and no concept of which we now know can encompass the great mystery of the infinite Creator. In the face of such a complete unknowing, it is well to have a sense of humor, to feel free to be merry in one's search. For long faces are not good environments for the rapid growth of spirit, and as each within your often painful illusion must wear the long face from time to time, we hope to encourage in one's spiritual seeking that most blessed quality of joy. One other introductory remark is a covenant. We are your brothers and sisters, not those who are infallible. We would not give you an erroneous opinion knowingly. However, we are still learning, and even our teachers express their own lack of final understanding. Consequently, be aware that this is a note passed from a group among the road of spiritual seeking to another point of light upon that same road. See yourself, my children, as candles lit, vibrant, and moved by the wind of spiritual guidance. And in each meditation, seek to listen to that wind which contains that still, small voice, as your Holy Scripture puts it, within which lies all those things we cannot say, all those memories which are your birthright and which, when you hear them again, you shall recognize. And this brings us to the question of the evening, that being a request to comment upon a statement received in meditation by one known as R, that the soul is the essence of remembrance. Let us move first to ground that of which we would speak in the earth of metaphysical structure as we see it. Each of you is a portion of the Infinite One, which has been set forth by the Infinite One as its free choice to learn about itself. Through each experience that you have, through each bias that you gain from responding to the experiences that you have, you become, through many, many life experiences, such as the one you enjoy at this time, more and more aware of yourself as an unique entity. Eventually, all that you have learned and found beautiful moves with you of your free choice back to the source and the beginning, and the prodigal sons and daughters, as this instrument would call all upon the spiritual path, come home at last. It is a very long pilgrimage, extending through many dimensions and illusions, through many kinds of experience. This particular experience which you enjoy at this time may be considered the dimension of choice. For if the face of the Creator is love, then a response of that created one to love is also love. Yet it may be love of others or love of self. It may be the path of service to others or the path of service to self. In this illusion, where focuses of energy appear to be solid and thoughts that are stronger than those energies cannot be seen, the stage is set for a choice to be made in complete free will. For within the illusion, the truth cannot be known in any objective fashion, but must be sought within through guidance and inspiration, through meditation, contemplation, and discussion with others upon the path. The choice is to radiate the love of the one infinite creator, or to so magnetize the self that one draws into the self-control and becomes as the creator, using each other's spirit as power for the self. We are aware that each within this dwelling and this circle at this time have chosen the path of service to others, the path of radiant love. These foundation stones of the structure of your experience we thought were necessary before moving to a direct discussion of the statement concerning the soul as the essence of remembrance. Let us define that which is called the soul as that portion of your being which is imperishable, that portion of your being which was before your world was formed, which was before earth and sky appeared, and which shall be when all that you know now has become naught. This imperishable being, which is earned as an unique consciousness, your soul is at all times a gift to the Creator from the active principle of creation, which is curious, which learns, and which goes through a process called remembrance. Let us gaze at the word essence. That which is an essence is not that which meets the eye. It is not that which is usually particularly easy to determine from intergroup acquaintance with an individual among your peoples. For part of your illusion is the veil, which has been dropped betwixt the conscious and unconscious mind. For by rendering your inborn capacity to communicate by concept and thought useless, you are forced to communicate with words and points, thus constantly away from the essence of yourself, which lies far too deep for words. Let us now gaze at memory. We find that this instrument's conscious approach to this question is much the same as if two Neoplatonists, a Stoic, a Sophist, and a follower of Anaximander, were wrestling within the instrument's mind. This is true, not only of this instrument, but of the great majority of those who attempt intellectually, logically, and pragmatically to consider philosophical and spiritual questions. Memory is thought to be a time-bound phenomenon. That is, an event occurs, one observes the event and registers it in memory. This, my children, is not the case, not at the beginning and not during the entire process of memory. Each perception, moment by moment, which each seeker has, is the product of many, many choices made upon a subconscious level, according to programs, shall we say, in the biocomputer of the brain, which were often set so very far back into the young days of incarnation that the seeker simply does not know its own program of perception. You see, because of the nature of the illusion of time and the limitations of the biocomputer given each, it is improbable that an entity will use more than perhaps 5% of that which is perceived by raw senses and fed into the biocomputer as raw sense data. You do not know that which you are throwing away, that which you are overlooking, because you have already eschewed it. Thus, if there are difficulties in remembrances within this incarnational experience, it is well to move back to the time that the programs were set in place. Now, as you may deduce, the biased amount of information which you have received from the senses, that is, biased in accordance with conscious, and most often unconscious programming, then goes through a complex procedure of choices. The choices concern how or whether one will respond to that which has been perceived. Perceptions are hierarchical, in terms of survival being the first consideration of any entity, concerns of the self being second in importance, concerns of relationship being the next, concerns with society being next, and all of these things come before that which is the first purely spiritual concern, that of opening the heart, not to one or another thing, but in terms of strengthening, empowering, and crystallizing one's authority as a channel for the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Thus, one's memories have no chance of being objective at any time. They are biased from the beginning. And as your memory becomes older and dimmer, it moves through one of two simple processes. Either it is gilded with a loving hand to emphasize its beauty, its depth of meaning, its poignancy, and its truth, or it is simply blocked and segregated as that which seems too self-destructive to allow within memory or to be healed at that particular moment in space and time. At the end of an incarnational experience, you, as an imperishable being, have changed because of this illusion which you now enjoy. It is not that your intelligence has changed, for you do not carry that with you from incarnation to incarnation. It is not the personality, as you may think of the personality, as the social butterfly or the teller of the jokes. It is that imperishable point of view which has been biased or polarized in either service to others, sharing the love of the Creator, or service to self and dominion over others. We are upon the servant's path. We do not deny that there is an opposite path. We simply do not teach it. Through many, many lifetimes, beginning with experiences as earth, air, wind, fire, and all the elements, you have built your biases, your uniqueness, as a spark within the infinity of the Creator. You have experienced everything that you see in the world about you, and from experience of rock, or sea, or cloud, or blooming flower, you remember not the entire experience, but its essence. And that essence is to you unique, for you are not anyone else. You are perfectly your own self. Each entity is correct for itself, for it is the sum of what it has learned. That you each wish to accelerate the process of learning is much to your credit. For there is much to do, and the world that cries out for more lightened consciousness will now have the essence of remembrance of the elemental density and the density of plant and animal as part of your imperishable self, as part of your gift to the Infinite One. Now you sit in the midst of the greatest decision you shall make within the entire octave of experience of what you would call men and angels. The choice to love or to be obeyed. Once you have made the decision, it then becomes your task, if you wish to complete it as mission impossible, would say, to choose ever again to give, when you could receive, to console when you yourself need consoling, to care and feel and love when others turn away in scorn and dislike. Each small choice is, in fact, a larger and larger choice, for as one positive choice builds upon another, so your spirit and soul grow in strength and power, and you begin to be, in feeling and in conscious thinking, that which you truly are, a metaphysical being, alive eternally in an infinite universe, peopled with nothing but yourself in the guise of many, many mirrors. Gaze into anyone's eyes. They show you yourself. Gaze at the trees, the skies, the stars. They, too, are yourself. When you have graduated from this classroom, learning the first lesson of love, then shall you, in what some have called heaven and others paradise, enjoy a somewhat more comfortable atmosphere. Yet you shall not be without your work, for you shall be learning. That is the essence of the soul, for the soul is the stuff of which the Creator is, that being love combined with free will. And free will is ever curious and ever restless. And free will truths do not last forever. Only the mystery of that which is unknown is as truly imperishable as are each of you. Thus, that which you are at this time, that which may be called a soul, that is the imperishable part of you, is the kernel, the feeling and tone left behind by catalysts, the stain that remains from the spillage of experience. And these things you hold in ever-shifting remembrance. Thus, the quality of your soul, to some great extent, depends upon the quality of your remembrance. That is, your ability to abide in faithfulness to the truth that lies within you, which you may know only through experiencing your own biases and seeking ever in daily meditation to dwell with the Infinite One, and so open the door to your birthright, to your memory of all that you truly are and all that you truly feel. We will direct your attention to a portion of the Holy Works known as your Bible, the one known as Jesus the Christ. Took a simple, homely article, the bread, which was the bulk of a meager meal. This entity gave thanks for the plenty of his bread. He then broke it and offered it, saying, "Take and eat this in remembrance of me." And so, too, with that wine which was the usual liberation in that less than cleanly age. "Drink this in remembrance of me." This entity did not wish to be remembered as an entity, but as a channel from that which flowed through the entity and transfigured it, the love and the light of the one infinite Creator. Each of you needs a way to focus upon, a remembrance of those things which are beautiful and true, that your soul may be most faithful in remembering. Again and again we suggest the daily meditation with silence and the listening. And we offer in this case a simple rationale. Do this in remembrance of me. And by me, we mean we, ourselves, no more than did the teacher known as Jesus, but rather we mean I am. That is, consciousness itself, the one great original thought which created all that there is. It is this we call to remembrance. It is this which centers our memory. It is this remembrance that ennobles the essence of memory. To remember the small changes of a lifetime is not altogether helpful, for there is not the focused power of a singular path for one's daily experiences. The effort needed to put into place a structure whereby one may give daily thanksgiving and remembrance to the one infinite Creator is a structure each must choose for themselves. Yet we say to you, that if you wish your imperishable self to rise as quickly as possible into the light of what you would call the kingdom of heaven, the greatest tool is daily remembrance of that great thought, whose name in your language is love. Love has created you. Love sustains you. Love that is alive and caring and with you guides you, aids you, and protects you. The words that you hear at this time are a very humble part of the simple of discarnate spiritual aid that is available to those who seek it. There are many, many channels, many various ways of offering the information of the Creator to the children of the Creator, which are yourselves, and the eternity and full knowledge of yourself as Creator, which is ultimately your birthright. Yet, this birthright shall come to you not because you become more and more powerful and therefore are able to wrest it from the arms of the Almighty. This power descends upon one who has surrendered the free will of variousness to a far more impersonal kind of will, that deep will found within the self for good or service or love. The desire to learn and the will to preserve may seem like those things which are taught to one in business school, that one may be a better salesman. Yet we say to you that the facilities of desire and will create your experience. That which you desired to learn before this incarnation you set in place, not specifically, but in kind. You allowed yourself any number of attempts at each lesson. Thus, if you are seeing the same pattern over and over again, you know that there is a lesson of love in this pattern, and that the answer to this pattern lies along lines of the seeking of love within that pattern. Once this has been done and love has been found, the pattern is balanced, and one may go on to the next lesson one has offered oneself for the learning. Thus you may see that your soul is indeed in your hands. You may learn, you may polarize, you may reclaim your birthright, you may advance as you wish, slowly, moderately, or quickly. We would advise each never to run, but to take the careful steps, building slowly, nurturing the spiritual self. We encourage each to nurture the infant soul within, for indeed each of you, in terms of the full spectrum of experience which you shall have within this octave of creation, are very young souls. You are doing your most important work at this time, not your hardest work by any means. My children, for refining upon the choice is a challenge that takes, in your measurement of time, millions and millions of years. We hasten to encourage each by saying that we do not perceive time in our dimension as you perceive time in your own. We are most emphatically not bored, as one would be at the thought of spending millions of years in the same physical vehicle. Soul is the essence of remembrance. What have you impressed in memory upon the essence of things that shall bias your soul this day? What do you wish for your soul? How and what shall you remember? We very much thank each again for asking us to speak upon this interesting question. We believe at this time we have said enough. We shall take our leave of this instrument and this group, leaving each, as always, in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. We are known to you as those of Latwii. Adonai, my friends, Adonai.